So, Dupe, you are ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready for this.
I don't know how ready I am, but I think it's something we should do. Just have a conversation in front of the camera about us.
Yes.
You're my wife,
Yes.
my beautiful wife. We've got 2 children, so we're parents together. We run a business together, so we're business partners.
Yes.
We're best friends. Well, I think you're my best friend. I used to be my best friend.
Most of the time we're best friends. Sometimes I feel like I could kill you, but yeah, we're best friends.
Okay, the last time I checked. Okay, so we're best friends. It happens to be Valentine's Day today as well.
It is Valentine's Day.
Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, Baba.
Yeah, and
We're lovers.
we're lovers. We're
Yes.
lovers. Is there anything else I've missed out on our list in our relationship?
I think that covers, pretty much what we are. Yeah.
Okay, so 2 decades and a half. How has it been managing all these layers?
2.5 decades. It's been interesting, exciting.
Good, I like that.
It's been challenging at times.
I was waiting for that.
It's been rocky at times. There've been a lot of tears. There've been a lot of joy. There's been a lot of highs. I wouldn't say there've been lows, because I think we've always pulled together and pulled through. So I wouldn't really call them lows. I'll call them challenging times, really challenging times.
Yeah. Can I ask, when you say challenging, because tell me if I'm wrong, I'm thinking the challenging is we challenge ourselves a lot.
We do challenge ourselves a lot. And I think, when I say challenging, it's probably more of where we've been stretched. And I think the challenges have come from being stretched.
By who? By who?
Well, I think we always want to beat our personal best. We're very passionate about what we do.
Driven.
We're very driven. We are people of faith, and therefore, because we're people of faith, we feel compelled to answer the call that we believe has been placed on us. We feel compelled to do that. And we feel compelled to do that with all our heart. Okay, so there's, it's kind of goes to that saying where to whom much has been given, much is expected. And I think we take those words very, very seriously.
Absolutely.
And that's what drives us every day. That's what keeps the passion burning.
I think there's some words that you're using now, driven, challenge, with all our hearts.
Yeah.
When you get 2 passionate people trying to move one vehicle,
Yeah.
would you think, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think the first thing is you've got to be aligned, because if you're not aligned and you've got 2 passionate people trying to move one vehicle, like you're saying, if they're not in alignment, they will be in opposition, and therefore it's a disaster waiting to happen. So I think most importantly, we are aligned. It doesn't always mean that, we don't have differences or we don't see things differently, but I think deep down we both know that we have a common goal, and that is so important.
Another word you've used now is align. You only use the word align when you've got 2 different things.
Yeah,
Yeah?
because
So
absolutely.
it looks like the key now isn't the matter that we're very different. It's how we align our differences.
Yeah.
That's our strength.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Yes, yes. And it's good that we're different because you don't want to be the same.
No.
You know, difference brings more. It brings more variety. It brings more perspective. Yeah, you have a broader view of things, broader picture. But being able to align that to achieve something great or something
Brings
good,
synergy.
fantastic. It brings synergy, and I think that you're right. I think that's the strength we have.
You know, you were speaking at the Avicenna conference. I can't remember what the topic was now.
It was, about GPs and pharmacists.
Pharmacists. I think this actually speaks into that because we will go on to talk about our professional relationship, but I think it will be good for you to actually speak about something that you said that it had to do with GPs and pharmacists are like an arranged marriage.
Yes, so you're right, and I believe very strongly in that. Yeah, an arranged marriage. If you look at the concept of an arranged marriage, really, you know, you've got this. I mean, like the word says, it's an arrangement, but it's something that can work so beautifully if it's well arranged. You know, it's properly. Yes, it's well aligned. You know, it's like getting the best of both. Do you see? And GPs and pharmacies are like that. I think the main problem, which is what I highlighted at the conference, is that it's such a poor arrangement. Poor arrangement because it hasn't been made to be aligned. You know, they're not. It's been made, the arrangement has been made like one that is in opposition. And now if you have a marriage where
instead of collaboration,
the two parties are in opposition, it's heading for a divorce, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You know, it is. But if you, and we're not saying that the two parties are the same, but the two parties bring different flavors to the arrangement. So different strengths, different, and when you collaborate, when you come together with those different strengths, you can actually make something really exquisite, something really excellent. You know, you can produce something that is great.
So we can complement each other.
You complement each other. You're not.
I think you said that
You're not
complement is not
competing.
compete. Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
competing. You're complementing each other. If you think about a marriage where the two husband and wife are competing for the children's love, you know, it doesn't work. Yeah. If you complement, you know, mom and dad. Mom does this, dad does this, but the children know that mom and dad have the common goal. Nobody's competing for anybody's love. Nobody's trying to outdo the other. You know, and that's the beauty of it.
It is.
You complement, you work in synergy.
Yes.
Okay? You collaborate.
In our profession, they would have, children will be like patient outcomes.
Patient outcomes. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Where we're
it's duplicating
each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of, and that costs. In a home, it costs.
Yeah.
In primary care,
it costs.
Yeah. It's waste, isn't it?
Waste. Absolutely, it is waste. And at the end of the day, neither party is really content with where they are.
No.
That's the unfortunate thing. The patient outcomes are not met. The individuals, so the GPs and the pharmacists, neither of them, neither profession is really satisfied with where they are. You know, neither profession fully expresses what they can bring to the table.
I mean, I'm looking forward to, because you're going to be, you're part of the organizing committee for a conference in Birmingham in June.
And that's talking about bringing GPs and pharmacy and community pharmacy.
And nurses.
The whole primary care collaboration is a whole primary care. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be big. It's the first one. So we're really hoping that this will be the start of a better relationship in primary care, because we've got a lot to offer
Each other.
in primary care. We've got a lot to offer, and to deliver, we can. If we come together, we can deliver. So yes, it's in June. It's exciting. It's still in the initial phases of planning, but we're all excited. A lot of people who have already signed up to it, so that's very encouraging.
There's something else you said, or you always say, about how the NHS can never have enough. Would you want to describe what you mean?
When you say NHS, and the funding,
yes.
well, the funding will never be enough. The funding, if you think about the needs, the demand, it's increasing. If you think about the inception of the NHS, so when the NHS first started in 1948, and you think about now, was 60, more than, or 70 something years on, the needs are different. So in 1948, the expected lifespan was about 68. Now people are living till 100. You know, you have people at 68 now. I mean, you're young. You know, people are living till 80, 90. And because we're living longer, we've got many more years of chronic health problems. So, and this is the success of the NHS.
It is the success of
the
the
success of the NHS is that we have been able to prolong the life, which is fantastic. But the resources cannot stretch as far as that. So we've got to be more strategic in the way the resources of the NHS. So it's about strategic workload management. Managing the workload, so the resources include manpower.
Yes.
The resources include money, finances. So we've got to be more strategic about how we make use of those resources.
As efficiently as possible.
Yes, as efficiently. So manpower, for example, it's because the needs are so many now compared to then. Now that so many of it's not only about GPs now. So many other professions have been upskilled. So pharmacists are now like yourselves, and now you now have skills, clinical skills.
Yes.
So you can deliver on that. So how do we manage the workload such that the right professional, the right
healthcare professional is the first that is seen by the patient.
Absolutely. In
to
a way,
free those who
there's
are
no
not.
point as a GP with the demand that we have. There's no point me saying coughs and colds when somebody who is less qualified than I am, and I'm not saying that in a detrimental way. I'm not saying that in a patronizing way. It's somebody who is less qualified can see competently that patient. If I am seeing coughs and colds, who's seeing the cardiac, who's seeing the MIs?
Yes.
Who's seeing the more, difficult cases?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That would be secondary care. Where
primary care is
pressure.
referred to secondary care. But do you see what I mean?
I understand.
Who are the people from in the community coming to acutely before they're referred to secondary care? Do you see?
Absolutely. So the pressure is there because of the lack of strategic workload management, which I'm hoping we can have a conversation about in itself.
Yes.
In the future. Talking about the pressure in the NHS, I want to take you back to we met in medical school.
Yes.
We're young and we're looking forward to.
Well, I'm still young. I don't know about you, but yes.
We're younger.
Younger, yes.
And looking forward to a career in our professions.
Yeah.
And you got to a place in GP world, in the NHS, that was dark.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak a little bit into that for our audience?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously spending about 20 years. I spent about 20 years in general practice.
People are calculating how old you are now.
Yeah, I don't look it, do I? I spent about 20 years in general practice, probably over 20 years actually, of which 19 of those years, well, 18 of those years I was a partner in a large surgery, and 1 year I stepped down to be a salaried GP in the same surgery. So I think by the time I stepped down to be salaried GP, I mean, of course, I had also over probably the last 10 years of that, become part-time, and I spent 2 of those days in running the family business with you, so running a private clinic and just supporting you in the family business. And then there were other 2 days in my NHS practice. But I think what I found was that I never felt like I could I never felt like my 100% was enough in either. So as much as I pushed myself and did what I could and the surgeon wanted to do, it was never enough. There was just never enough time to do anything, to do what I wanted to do, to the standard I wanted to do it. It just seemed like an endless task. And then at home, I had the guilt. Well, when I say at home, the family business, I carried the guilt of not being able to apply myself more as well. So even though I was putting in all I could, but I just carried that guilt. I wanted to be able to support you more. And I think basically also I found that me working in the NHS under the pressure, the constant pressure, it became less and less rewarding. Less rewarding because the focus was more on the pressure.
As your best friend, I saw the darkness. I saw that, when you referred just now to home, there was guilt at home as well, because when you come for dinner,
if I made it for dinner.
When you come for dinner, your mind is still at work, and you will say, okay, after dinner you will go back, because work wasn't too far. We chose to work where we live, and so you'll go back to finish things. And because or Saturdays you go back to catch up for the week.
Correct.
Even though you are part-time.
Correct. Yes, and I'll come for dinner because I wanted to have dinner with the family, and thank God that work wasn't too far from home, so I could be home in 5 minutes. But it still wasn't right that I would have to go back after dinner, because in essence I was just present.
Exactly.
Okay, so the family time, it was eaten out of family time. I came home, I had dinner, and it was almost like just ticking a box, It was my quaff point for home, So tick that box, and then I went back to the surgery and carried on, and I felt committed to the surgery, and I also felt committed to home.
The bottom line is you are a person who commits.
Yeah.
And that's just who you are. And to do anything half, it was never you. Even when you went down to being a salaried GP, thinking that would make you...
Well, I thought being a salaried GP might maybe take a little bit of the pressure off.
Because responsibility was no longer
Yes, the
supposed to be.
responsibility was no longer mine in the sense that I wasn't a partner. I didn't have deciding power.
Now say the but.
But what essentially happened was, well, I think first and foremost, I was in the same practice. So even though maybe my mentality changed, that I was no longer a partner, the people I worked with, their mentality didn't change because they still saw me, yesterday you were a partner, today you're not a partner. It doesn't work that way. The mentality couldn't switch. So I was still, I had very much been the go-to person for the staff. And it was a position I took with pride. I loved it, because I knew that the staff found me approachable and that was fine. The problem here was that I no longer had the deciding power, but at the same time, I couldn't say to the staff, go away.
It's got nothing to do with
It's
you.
got nothing to do with me. So I still carried that burden and carried that responsibility in a sense.
And you still pushed the cuff points passionately.
Cuff points were my thing. They were my baby, in a sense, and I couldn't bear to see the cuff points, drop. So I was in charge of that, and I still did that. But I think, like you said, you could see the dark part.
Yes, and I think this transition period that we're speaking into now, which is where in a relationship it's got to be give and take.
Yeah.
I didn't really think that going salary was the way forward, but I could understand where something that you were passionate about, you just wanted to try and see how you could make things work.
Yeah.
And during that period, I think I wasn't very helpful in the pressure that came from me as well, because that existed. You knew that I wanted you out of there because of the pressure it was putting on you and us as a couple.
Yeah.
But do you want to speak into that?
Well, I think there was pressure. You didn't think so. I still think it was the right thing to do, going salary, because I think it was going to be a big jump. I think I needed that time.
Then I know you were saying how you knew.
Well, I was very
you
considerate.
Didn't want to just
I wasn't going to just leave
them because
you knew
I'd
been there for so long. I was very considerate of my partners, definitely. I didn't want to leave a gap, and even when I went salaried, I still gave 9 months notice, and I still did that. But I think I also needed that space for me, because I think it was a time for me to reflect, a time for me to, be more introspective, take stock, and then recharge and then go. I think if I had gone from being a partner and then out and just jump into private, I think I would have struggled.
I saw you giving 110%, even when you became
When I went down to salary,
to becoming a salary, you were still giving 110%. You spent more time. You gave them more notice than was necessary.
Yeah, I did.
But I'm sitting on the other side and saying, when you want to take annual leave and you're trying to find one partner out of 7 partners to cover for you.
Yeah.
And they don't.
Well, not so. Yeah, I suppose not so much annual leave, but if I had to do something,
yes.
And I think the reality of it was, when I think I had to rethink. There was a time I thought about it again, and it was the time that my mother died, and I rushed back from the funeral. Actually, when my mom died, I was in surgery. I was in the middle of running a clinic, and I got a phone call to say my mom had passed away. and I still carried on seeing my patients, and I really don't know where the strength came from, but that was how committed I felt.
Well,
Bear with me.
yes,
That was how committed I felt. I couldn't leave. I didn't want to leave the partners. I didn't want to leave them without. And then another example was when I suddenly went into labor. And again, I was trying to, this was 21 years ago, obviously, you remember. And I was trying to cover,
I would like to go back to mom.
Yes.
Your mom. Because in the same way that I would get frustrated, it's the same way your dad, who's now passed away, will get frustrated with your mom.
Yeah.
Because she will give everything.
Correct.
To people who were not reciprocating.
Yes.
And in my view, I felt, I know there's an NHS pressure on the whole GP surgery. And then you're giving that extra, you're not being given back as much. And I'm like, hold on, we've got our own needs here. Come out. And that was where the pressure was from me on you, thinking, why are you going over and above for people who may not necessarily do the same for you? But that's not who your mom was. That's not who you are. And I must say I learned from that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And I think sometimes you do have to think about yourself. You have to think about your health. Mm-hmm. You have to think about your family and the things that matter. And the truth is, if anything happens to you, to me, life goes on. No one's really, they might say, yeah, she was really committed. She gave that 100%, but I think that's where it ends. But, so yeah, you're right. I mean, there's a balance. Yes. It's all about balance, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. So where are we now? You are 3 years into
nearly
full-time. 4 years into full-time private practice. And you've got this series that you're writing as well. Telling people. Do you want to speak up to where you are now?
So over the last 3.5 years, it'll be 4 years in June. I've been working full-time in the family business, running a private clinic from within the Christchurch pharmacy, which we both own. And it's been very, very rewarding. Rewarding in a different way. My time in the NHS was very rewarding. I've had a very rewarding career. That's the truth. But it's been very rewarding in a different way. Different because there's actually more time with patients. Mm-hmm. You actually feel you're making a real difference. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't see a huge number of patients or clients, as we call them, but every day you feel that you've made a real difference. You have conversations. Mm-hmm. You're not just
focused.
No, I'm not goal focused, and also I'm not time conscious. Mm-hmm. When I say I'm not time conscious, yes, I'm time conscious to some extent, but I'm not as time conscious I'm not time pressured. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between time consciousness and being time pressured. I'm not time pressured. So yes, I'm time conscious in the sense that they have half an hour, but quite often half an hour is more than enough time. Mm-hmm. It's even enough time for me to stop and ask, I now make it a point of duty. Not even that I think about it, but it just comes naturally now to ask people about, so what do you do? So what, maybe they've come for travel, and why are you going there? So what do you normally do? Yes. So what exactly, what do you enjoy doing?
Do you know what I'm thinking right now? I remember when you were doing your GP rotation training.
Yeah.
And you had to do some videos.
Yes.
The picture I see of you is the patient sitting to your side and you are staring into the computer, typing away. You don't make
Well,
So what's your posture like now?
I'm glad you said that, Baba, actually. Do you know that throughout my my NHS career, throughout, we do this patient feedback.
Yes.
We have to do this for our appraisals.
Yes.
The one consistent thing that patients said about me was I didn't make eye contact. It was the one consistent thing. And the reason why I didn't make eye contact, not that I didn't make any eye contact, but it was like not enough eye contact. The reason why was because I had to type at the same time and listen. I didn't have enough time, and I struggled. I struggled to do this. I have to look at the keyboard. I'm not that fast, with typing. So I have to look at the keyboard. Hence, I have to look at my keyboard and my computer. And the patient is sitting on this side. Okay, so I cannot make eye contact. So they're talking, and I'm like, yeah, I'm listening, and that. But now I actually just turn and look at the patient or client. I look directly at the client. I'm having a conversation. They know they've got my full attention. More recently, I've got Heidi in the background recording that. Heidi is a software that I'm thinking, how on earth haven't I been using this? Yeah. So Heidi is the AI software that records your consultation, and it is fantastic. It's brilliant. So all you need to do is take consent when the patient comes in. Do you mind if I record, because it's recording my consultation for me? And that's it, and they all say yes. Now, with that, it frees me to actually have the conversation with the client. I face them. I had a client on Thursday who came in, and I had my trainee pharmacist with me as well, sitting in for the consultation. And I had this young 30-something-year-old man who came in and just sat there and just told me about how his father was just a bomb. I'm thinking, okay.
That's a presenting complaint.
That's a different way to start a consultation. And he just poured out about how he couldn't stand his father. He left when he was 13, and he hasn't been in his life, and he doesn't want to have anything to do with him. And he went on, and I just listened. Now, if that was my NHS consultation, I would have been thinking, get to the point.
You got 4 minutes left.
So, and what I'll be thinking of is, right, okay, you are depressed, you want antidepressants or anti-anxiety, and I need to write a script, and then you'll be on your way. But at the end of, I think I even went well over 30 minutes, probably about 45 minutes, but it didn't matter, because I could tell that he needed to talk. There was a conversation, and I felt there was something I could offer. I said to him, the conclusion, you need counseling. But at the end of the consultation, we went through all that he was going through, what his father might be going through as well, and how much pain he'd been, and how he bottled it all those years. And I said to him, you need to forgive your father. And he just sat back in his chair like...
That was your prescription, was it?
He was looking at me like, you must be having a laugh. So I said, you honestly need to forgive your father. He said, if I see him, I'm going to punch him. I said, look, honestly, you have to. And I said to him, I'm not asking you to forgive your father because he deserves it. I'm not asking you to forgive your father because he's a nice man. I'm asking you to forgive your father because of you. And then he kind of thought, what's she on about? I said, because you need to let go. You cannot let your father or the sins or the things your father has done to you, you cannot let that hold you back and destroy your future. I'm concerned about you because you have come to me, and therefore it's you I'm concerned about. You need to do that. So, at the end, I asked him, I said, what exactly did you want from this consultation? Because it's not about just what, it's a two-way thing. What were you hoping to get? I said, what were you hoping to get out of this consultation? And the bottom line was, he wasn't there for antidepressants. We talked about antidepressants and anti-anxiety, and I did the medical thing. I did his PHQ-9 score. I did his GAD score. He is depressed. He does have severe anxiety, and there is a place for medication. But it's not just about medication. Now, when I was in the NHS, I probably would give him medication, and I might refer to IAPT. I might ask him to refer. Would he go to IAPT? Probably not. Because nobody had really I wouldn't have actually taken the time to listen to him and get to that conclusion.
Well,
I walked him through the journey of why I thought he needed to do that.
What I want to just put on parallel sides is the same doctor.
Yeah.
Working for the NHS or working private.
Yeah.
Same patient.
Same patient.
Same presenting complaint.
Mm-hmm.
One is holistic.
Yeah.
Without medication, except absolutely needed.
Yeah.
One cannot wait to get the pen on the prescription to get the patient out of the door.
Yeah, because I have another one. I have another 4 waiting for me.
Yes.
That's the pressure.
You said 4 because you spent 40 minutes with this gentleman. NHS-wise, that's 4 patients who should have been seen within that time.
And kicking a fuss.
They will be kicking a fuss.
Yeah.
There are lots of interesting stories that I've heard you come home with from private practice.
Yeah.
I know you referred to my frustrations, and I acknowledge that. But as a husband, at the dining table, another complaint. That's all I heard during the NHS time, and the odd compliment. But going forward, you come home and you say, someone said, will you marry me after you provided a service?
Yeah, I asked.
Did you want to speak into that?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I think I told him to go and speak to you.
Yeah.
Again, it's just those little things that make a difference, and you just realize how much of a difference it makes. I think the one thing that is so glaring is people seek private health because they want to be heard. That's the bottom line. Honestly, people do not seek private health just because they want medication. They seek private health because they actually just want to be heard. And that's the one thing we cannot give in the NHS. The time is limited. How much can someone say in 10 minutes?
Absolutely.
The time is very limited, and there are too many occasions when people come to me and there's no prescription. It's just they've been heard, they've been reassured, and they're quite happy.
Yeah.
So going back to the gentleman who said that, he actually came to have his ears, if I recall, I think he was this older man who came to have his ears microsuctioned. And I'd done that, and he suddenly could hear very well, which he couldn't believe. He lives on his own. He's lost his wife, and I saw his eyes fill up with tears because he could hear. I was chatting with him, and he felt so grateful. That was when he came up with that, And you know, every time I see him now, he still comes in for other things. He comes for his COVID jab. He comes for, you can see the excitement on his face, you know, and that excitement makes me excited.
Well, that is why you
because I
study
feel-
medicine.
Yeah, you know, you just feel you've made a difference to somebody's life, you know, and something as simple as earwax microsuction making such a difference to somebody's life,
Absolutely.
you know.
All right. So here we are, 2026. And you're getting involved in a lot of things, even with pharmacy, meeting, going to conferences, and now trying to bridge a gap. What is the future for Dr. Dupe?
Well, I think really, I have to say, I'm enjoying what I'm doing now, very much so. I think the ability to manage my own diary is fantastic. If I cannot be there because I have something else to do, I don't have to open my diary and I don't have to feel guilty about it. And I think that alone it takes a lot of pressure off me. The future is growing this even bigger, growing, and more so just encouraging other people out there who want a better work-life balance, that you can have a better work-life balance. Community pharmacy is a great profession or great host or establishment to partner with. Partner with because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to take up all the responsibility of a building. You've already got ready-made patients coming into the footfall. It's fantastic. You've got your clientele ready-made, you know, coming in. So I think it's such a great opportunity to partner with. And to be honest, the collaboration with the private GP and community pharmacies is a bigger model. It's a more trustworthy model that patients see.
Both professions.
Yes, the patients see, and yeah, there's just so much scope that hasn't been explored.
Dr. Dupe, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me today. I think I will see you later.
You're welcome, Papa. I don't know why you're giving me so much respect. You don't give me that much respect at all.
We are on camera.
All right, okay. Yeah, great talking to you as well, Papa.
Thank you very much.